When Curtis first walked into the small community church on the edge of a bustling urban center, he didn't expect much beyond the typical Sunday service. What he found, however, reshaped his perspective and, ultimately, his life. Here, in the cozy church halls filled with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and worn Bibles, Curtis discovered a vibrant community deeply engaged in one another's lives, reflecting the biblical injunction in Hebrews 10:24. And let us consider how we can spur one another on toward love and good deeds. This essay explores the transformative power of fellowship in religious communities, demonstrating how it is not just an auxiliary part of Christian doctrine, but a vital element. Fellowship, or koinonia, carries a richness in the New Testament that goes beyond mere social interactions. It encompasses sharing, participation, and a deep communal bond united by spiritual values and Christ's love. This part of the Christian life is essential for spiritual growth and resilience. Christian fellowship is marked by love, support, and mutual encouragement. It serves as a foundation upon which the church not only stands but flourishes. It replicates the early Christian communities where believers were deeply involved in each other's lives, sharing everything from material resources to spiritual struggles. This spiritual interconnectedness reflects Christ's teachings on love and compassion, urging believers to embody these values in every interaction. It is within these relationships that the faithful are often most vividly reminded of God's presence and provision. Creating a community where people feel safe to share their lives openly requires intentional efforts in building trust and authenticity. This begins with leadership that models vulnerability and openness. When leaders share their own struggles and doubts, it paves the way for others to do the same without fear of judgment. Trust is cultivated in smaller, more intimate settings where church members can delve into the nitty-gritty of life while exploring their faith. These small groups, or life groups, are integral to sustaining the life of the church body. They are places where real issues are discussed, prayers are offered, and support is readily available. Through such genuine interactions, members can experience practical applications of biblical teachings. This authenticity not only strengthens individual members but also fortifies the entire congregation by fostering a shared commitment to each other's spiritual and personal well-being. The chopstick principle, small groups, big changes. A popular metaphor in community building within churches is the chopstick principle. Just as a single chopstick can be easily broken, but several chopsticks together are much stronger, so too is the Christian community more resilient when bonded together. This metaphor beautifully illustrates the strength that lies in the unity and mutual support of believers. Implementing small group dynamics can revolutionize how a church functions, turning passive attendees into active participants. Examples abound of churches that have seen dramatic transformations through the emphasis on small group fellowships. These groups become a microcosm of the larger church community where relationships are deepened and spiritual growth is nurtured collaboratively. It is in these small settings that the principles of Hebrews 10:24 are most effectively lived out. The face-to-face encouragement and accountability offered in small groups foster a vibrant, actionable faith. This not only aids in personal growth, but also propels the church towards impactful community service and evangelism. Putting principles into practice. Stories from the pews. The real test of fellowship principles comes in their application within the life of the church. Narratives from various communities illustrate how these principles manifest in transformative ways. Consider the story of Ruth, a widow who found a new family within her bereavement support group at church. Here she not only received comfort but also gave support to others, fulfilling the scriptural mandate to bear one another's burdens, Galatians 6:2. Another example is a downtown church that launched a mentorship program connecting older and younger generations. This initiative not only bridged the generation gap, but fostered a legacy of wisdom sharing and mutual respect that mirrored the familial structures evident in Scripture. Each story underscores the profound impact that biblical fellowship can have on individual lives and on the broader community. They reveal the power of collective Christian life to not only support its members in times of need, but also to extend its reach in service to the broader world, thereby exemplifying the gospel in action. In conclusion, the power of fellowship within religious communities, as exemplified by Curtis's transformation, goes beyond simple social gatherings. It is a dynamic, life-giving aspect of Christian living that mirrors the early church's practices and fulfills the biblical call to love, support, and motivate each other towards spiritual and communal flourishing. By fostering a culture of genuine connections and shared lives, churches can become beacons of hope and sanctuaries of grace in an increasingly fragmented world.